middle of COVID. It was in December, and we were like super confused because you were wearing slippers.
How are we gonna make this happen?
Good one. Been active in digital media since 1998, so I'm older than Koen. If I know you, I recognize you by your face or a brand by its logo. But if you're in a crowd, I recognize you by how you move. And that's sort of the same with a brand. It can have a distinctive behavior that sort of represents the attitude of the brand. And that's always important for us.
What is motion design? I feel, listening to it, I can't feel really lucky actually that we get to do this together. Because,
yeah, well said.
Sound rolling, action. Welcome everyone. I'm excited to announce the newest members of Schbang, Barry and Koen, who are now addiktSchbang. So welcome to the
Yay! Thank you for having us.
A little bit of an introduction of you guys, because I think those who follow Schbang and know Schbang, I will give you an introduction, but a little bit of an introduction of you guys will help.
Like a little of a private introduction of
personal,
yeah, exactly.
A little bit of both, yeah.
Well, born in 1975, father of 2 boys. So I just recently turned 49 in August.
Amazing.
Wow.
2 boys, football players, of course. Holland, big football land.
Wow.
Country. Started the company with Buddy in 2004 through.
So it's 20 years in.
20 years in already.
Since addict. Wow.
Yeah.
So 2004.
Yeah, we started 2004. I come from a digital background, which sounds funny in 2004, but actually been active in digital media since 1998. So I'm older than Koen. And with one of the first digital agencies in the Netherlands, which was pretty much at the inception of commercial use of the internet, and involved with it. So that was nice. Experienced a lot. Did the first e-commerce in the Netherlands, first live broadcast online in the Netherlands, or in Europe maybe even. And worked for a lot of big clients. Started my own design firm, which already sort of had on the side. And grew. We had MTV as one of our main clients, and did a lot of work. But in around 2004, in like the aftermath of the internet bubble bursting, I was sort of fed up with the whole online game, and we met up with Koen, and he wanted to start his own setup, and said, okay, why don't you join us? And we'll merge into what's now called Addict, or what was then called Addict, and what is now called addiktSchbang. And
I think the combination of our skills was really awesome, because I come from a CG background, so I did a lot of pioneering with 3D graphics. That's also 96, 97.
Yeah.
When we started out, and what was becoming a new thing was the hybrid between graphic design, 3D animation, 2D animation, which transformed into motion graphics, which is
your expertise.
Exactly.
Which is the core.
Which has always been our core at Addict.
Yeah.
So if you're a client looking at this, or if you're somebody who is a industry professional looking at this, I'd strongly encourage you to go to their website, because I think. Firstly, I think this story that you just shared, I feel like we're in a lot of august company, because, first digital agency, first live commerce, almost sitting at the cusp of what is motion design. I feel, listening to it, I can't feel really lucky, actually, that, we get to do this together. Because,
well said.
Because of the wealth of experience that you have. And I feel like what I really respect about you guys is, there are people who have done a lot of things, and then there are people who continue to do a lot of things, and I feel like you guys are in the continue to do a lot of things. So like the latest work which I want to talk a little bit about the Pride Amsterdam work
Yeah.
that
Sure.
you guys have done,
Yeah.
or what you guys have done with Fabrique Lumiere, and just tell us a little bit about what's going on there, and what's keeping you excited.
Well, I think in at the core of what you just mentioned, we were always there when a new thing started.
Mm.
So that means we could learn on the spot and evolve along with it. And that sort of always kept us excited. And
Yeah.
so technology has always been an interest of us. But at the same time, we understand our skill set and where our strength is, which is in motion.
Yeah.
And for us, motion is not just about moving things. It's more about behavior. So how does a brand behave? Because it's same as with a person. If I know you, I recognize you by your face, or a brand by its logo. But if you're in a crowd, I recognize you by how you move. And that's sort of the same with a brand. It can have a distinctive behavior that sort of represents the attitude of the brand.
Yeah.
And that's always important for us. And that's
fantastic.
what we try to sort of convey pretty much in every project.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this stuff that we are. Sorry, but you have to tell me a little bit about Pride Amsterdam and
Oh yeah.
and also the stuff at Fabrique Lumiere.
I'll do Pride, you do Fabrique.
Fabrique. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Pride Amsterdam is one of the oldest, maybe the oldest Pride organization, or at least festivals in the world. And yeah, we're very happy to be working with them. And Amsterdam has always been about tolerance and acceptance. So we felt the need to support that cause. And for this year's team, the team was together for this year. But the problem within the entire community was that pretty much every letter in that community had their own priorities. So if you look at the rainbow flag, that was pretty much how it was organized, that every organization had its own priorities.
What do you mean by every organization?
Well, within the LGBTQ community, so the lesbians had their own agenda.
Okay.
The queers had their own agenda. The transgenders had their own
They
agenda.
even have their own flags.
They even have their own flags.
Right.
So within the sort of differences within this community,
Which
Which
from
it
the outside
looks-
seems like one thing, like a whole,
Hmm.
actually exists out of different cells.
so the concept was for the Together team to sort of take the flag, take the colors, and instead of having the colors next to each other, weave them into each other, so they could actually create a new canvas and a new surface. So that was the initial concept behind the identity. So we created something new with something old for this existing larger community with all the sub-communities in mind. And that led to a
It's a
extra.
very beautiful takeover of the whole city.
Yeah, the entire city was covered for a week, which, and with the climax was the canal parade, where all the boats was through the city center of Amsterdam.
Yeah.
But the outings were all the social media outings, the broadcast outings on local TV networks or on their own social media or online channels. There were a lot of print outings, posters, out of home, digital out of home, flags, whatever. There
And I
was
feel
no
like,
escaping it.
Really, with the context of India, what I find is very exciting is that how so many touch points covered in so much detail, and I feel like I'm very excited to work with you guys on doing some of this for the Indian market. Whether tomorrow it is for the marathon in Mumbai or the marathon in Delhi, or that's what I think this partnership is about, because it's about bringing the level of design in India up. And I will talk a little bit about that also, you know, what we are planning to do. Kun, before I go to you for Fabric Lumiere, I want to ask Sohail, you know, what's exciting you as you hear all this and as you see all of this shaping up. What are first thoughts coming in your mind as far as integration is concerned?
Yeah, I think, you know, the Dutch have always been known for their mastery in design, product innovation, art and culture. And that's a lot of what we have. I think what I'm most excited is how they're able to bring the storytelling through motion, visual, graphics, and how we can merge that with the technology. So let's say, I think one of the things that we lack over here is to do that storytelling through web interfaces or through product interfaces. So I'm excited how we can bring some of that over here on maybe some of the marquee brands that we work with or some of the newer brands that we could approach. I think it's fantastic work that we could do. I think I've seen the work that you guys have done with Tata Motors. I've seen the work that you guys have been doing on Curious. I've seen some of the international work you guys have done.
The Mercy Ships work.
The Mercy Ships work.
Yeah.
So that's primarily one of the most exciting. I think the identity work also, something that's coming out of India, doing international level identity work. We have already seen a few agencies here doing that. Yeah. This will only elevate even Schbang and addiktSchbang to that international level work that we get to see.
I think that's what we really got to make this happen, because there's so many possibilities.
Exactly.
And the possibilities are that there's the Indian talent, which is very hungry, which is very talented.
Absolutely.
And then there is you guys, and you know, we speak always about the magic pixie dust that you have to add on to the people.
Yeah.
Because that's what you come with. You know, I think when people hear this about the first e-commerce transaction in the Netherlands, or when people hear about the birth of motion design, I feel like that is going to make them feel really privileged to be part of this association.
Yeah.
Not for anything else, but just because of the incredible learning opportunity. And I feel like that is the crux of it. If we unlock the Mumbai marathons, if we unlock the, you know, the identity work, if we unlock the technology interfaces, really those are actually right there, the three goals that we need to tick. And we need to have India excited about building that together. Schbang India excited about building that with addiktSchbang and just bring this together.
You know, we're also at the cusp of this offline innovation that we're now getting into, that some of the European countries have already seen that before, or the US market has already seen that before. So I think what they've been able to do over there, if we can bring some of that, like we spoke about, you guys are speaking about NMACC, stuff that we can do with them over there, or like at some of the offline centers that are there, that would be exciting also, not only online, but how we can bring this whole motion design to offline as well. That would be exciting to see.
Yeah, and I think that for us, that we stay on top of our game. Technology has always been like the driving force in that, being it new software that comes out, or new developments, and even the immersive experiences. It's technology. The technology is now up to speed, and also the cost of technology is now there, that it's actually available and affordable for clients also to.
We don't see enough of that here. I think now I saw in this Ganesh Chaturthi, I think it was Zepto who was giving out the modaks at Bandra. I know that didn't have a lot to do with motion design, but I'm seeing that, at least my reading is that brands are now a lot more open to doing these physical touch points and have more immersive experiences in place. Exactly like you said.
Cool.
Yeah, and you mentioned motion design, but for us, motion design is not a goal. It's a tool.
It's a tool.
But it's like the epicenter tool of our storytelling universe. And whether it's digital and online, or in an app, or in a stadium filling display.
Exactly, and that's happened with the IPL. So we'll talk a bit about that, but Fabric Lumiere before that.
Okay, yeah. So Fabric de Lumière is a venue in Amsterdam, which is part of an old gas industry plant, and
Investor Park.
Investor Park.
My favorite
Exactly,
park.
your park.
You go cycling there?
Yeah, many times, huh?
Yeah.
Many times.
I always stay next to the Vesta Park.
Yeah.
So I have to cycle through there to come to the office.
To drink some chocolate milk and.
Yeah, but it's a nice old industrial site which
Okay.
they turned into experience centers, office spaces, and bars and restaurants. So it's really it's
and
like
sports.
like Mills,
Yeah.
like is it Toddy Mills?
Toddy Mills. Yeah.
Yeah.
Brody Mills.
Like that.
So their venue turned into a museum. So during the day they do how do you call that?
Exhibitions.
Exhibitions of Dutch painters, for example. That's the show that's running right now. And after hours, when the museum closes, they rent the space out to companies to do their own personal.
Yeah. One thing you leave out is that it's not just a regular museum. Is that they rework all the museum artworks into immersive video projections.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So it's all video projected. It has 116 video projectors to cover all the walls, floor. Ceiling is not projected, but yeah. So it's a lot of pixels to cover. So you have to come up with some crazy ideas to get the works across.
Yeah, and it's a huge space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's so that's where we've seen the work on the portfolio of Armani and
Exactly.
Correct, yeah.
Lancôme, and
Yeah,
we've also seen the work with
We've-
with the girl with the pearl earring.
Yeah.
yeah, but that's in a separate studio
That's
area.
in what they call the studio. Um,
Which is a smaller separate thing where they have separate shows running.
Right.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, but what I love about what you have done is it's on one hand there's cultural immersion with Girl in the Pearl Earring, and then on the other hand it's commercial immersion with
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
other work. So that's really beautiful, and I think if I'm not mistaken, addiktSchbang is one of the two partners that is allowed to do it.
yeah, we're the preferred partner
preferred
for
partner
content
for-
creation.
For the
within-
creation
for the
within
business
there.
projects.
Yeah.
For the business projects.
Yeah.
So,
And-
but the girl with the pearl is kind of a step up to show the owners of the venues. They to
It's a
Get-
French. It's a French organization,
yeah
and they have
It's
like
the same as the Atelier de Lumière.
in Paris. Yes,
exactly. So
but they have like sorry,
just a couple of locations, like 4 or 5, Singapore, New York, 2 in Germany.
yeah, Seoul. So it's adding up. Yeah.
Mm.
But they do their own content. The show creation they do in their own graphic department.
Mm.
But it's too much work. So we want to take the content creation, the show creation. We want to take that to the addiktSchbang
Mm.
and do our own show. So we can also come up with our own concept of what the show is about.
Mm.
So it's besides being commercial, it's also a step up to being a real museum.
Mm.
And
Yeah, and the girl with the pearl exhibition that we designed is the first exhibition that they have run, which is not orchestrated by Paris. So
exactly,
that was a big thing for us.
yeah,
And they have this. They take this position between popular culture and museums.
Mm.
So they see themselves as like the entry point for people who don't often go to museums to still visit this exhibition because it's a bit less highbrow and more entertaining.
yeah, yeah.
Also, like you're literally in the painting.
You're literally in 100 paintings,
Mm.
Yeah.
and so every show takes about 45 minutes. But for the business events that we do, there's always a storyline for those events, whether it's a celebration that the company exists, I don't know how many years, or it's a product launch, or it's a rebranding launch, etc.
Mm.
So there's always a story to tell, and then we sort of create these canvases and canvases for stories throughout the night,
Super.
which is always fun. Yeah, the team really loves it.
Yeah,
working on those.
It's good work, and
it's good work. Yeah.
you know, this I want you to talk a little bit about the plan that we have in terms of teamwork, because I'm sure a lot of people would be excited to understand, you know, how is this really going to work. There's
Yeah.
a team in Holland, there's a team in India, there's also a team in the UK.
Yeah.
So how are the dots going to connect, and how are we going to make this happen?
Good one.
Are we jamming
Yeah,
now? Or
But maybe before that, because they're not new to India, they've done a lot of work. So maybe for the people who don't know, they could get that bit of background.
Yeah.
So you guys have been working with India for how many years now? You guys
14.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. We first came to India in 2009 for
Yeah.
the club opening.
and I was here for the opening of
Sensi Mills.
Zenzi Mills
Yeah.
club, which was owned by Dutch friends of mine, and that led to us speaking at Design Yatra in 2009 in the Powai edition. That led up to us getting inquiries from Indian clients after seeing our work.
So who was the first Indian client?
The first RFP that we received was for
The first paying client.
the first paying client was Western Union.
Think so. Yeah.
Yeah,
And the first RFP was?
World Cup cricket.
Awesome.
And that, and
Awesome.
and that was a pitch, and honestly, we didn't see India as a market at that time until that request came, and in Holland we just did a channel rebrand for TMF, which is a Viacom owned music channel next to MTV, and then we got the request for the World Cup cricket. And I think the budget for the World Cup cricket was like 6 times the entire TMF budget. So that sort of blew our minds, and we went all out on the pitch. And then it appeared that the pitch was against the Mill, which at that time was the most expensive post-production setup in Europe, UK setup. And we won that pitch.
World Cup cricket.
The
World Cup cricket, we won it.
Yeah.
And but there was like only 6 weeks before the launch, so we had to move fast. So we asked the organization, please share all the cricket footage that you have, so we can start doing promos, etc., and base our design around that. And then it appeared that all that cricket footage was at the Mill, or with the Mill, who were not intended to give it up.
No, you're not getting it.
And then so they were forced to go back to the Mill, and they did the project.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
Bummer.
sort of India got our attention,
Yeah.
and that sort of got us started here.
Nice.
Yeah.
And what's the other big India work? And how does the India story continue and then lead to...
the red thread between throughout the India story is curious,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because ever since the 2009 version of Design Yatra, we kept connected, and we designed the identity for the 2010 version, and after that, I think in 2023
Yeah.
we designed the Blue Elephant for the Creative Awards.
Wow. So all the ones that people hold in their hands with so much pride is designed by you guys.
Correct. Yeah. As a 3D model. Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. And we've worked with them on every edition since. So and the first edition of Curious Creative Awards at the Dome in Worley, we had that massive LED stage, which still is like a key signature thing for Curious Awards. But at that time in Europe, it was hardly possible for us because the LED was so expensive. But through a vendor here, who had a lot of access with like cheaper but quality-wise very good LED. He could just fill up the room with it, and so that was amazing. And that was for us a big opportunity also, sort of direct our own event. Although it was not our event, but it felt like that. But yeah, it sort of gave us creative freedom to experiment and sort of build the property.
Absolutely.
So we're very grateful for Curious. And then throughout the years, via Curious, we did a lot of collaborations with Indian partners, friends, studios. So we did a number of projects with together with Co-Design, where we teamed up and pitched together. We did a lot of work with K-Koo, the old curator and partner at Curious, who started his own setup. So yeah, a lot of collaborations and
Yeah.
So you were instrumental in this addiktSchbang happening. How did you guys meet?
It was a LinkedIn message actually. So I was in Amsterdam because we were just doing research for the London leg for Schbang UK, and I said, okay, let's pop over to Amsterdam because I think it was smack middle of COVID.
it was smack middle of COVID. It was in December.
Yeah.
And we were like super confused because you were wearing slippers.
Who does that?
So smack middle of December.
It's winter, eh? It's cold.
It's cold, and it's Amsterdam like I've never seen it before because it was empty.
Yeah.
It was like there was nothing. It
It was nice and peaceful.
Yeah.
very peaceful. And then I was there to say hello to a friend of mine, Mark Wesling,
Yeah.
who runs
Yeah.
Ultra Super New, who we met
We met the other
together
day,
at Cressels Kramer.
Correct.
Yeah.
So it's just like all advertising royalty coming together
Yeah.
at that little table. And so I was there to see him because we had the chance. I was in London. He said, I'm going to be in Amsterdam for one day. We got the dates wrong. He came in one day later than I was supposed to leave. But, turns out then I cancelled my flight. I ended up staying there. But in that period, I messaged Barry
Yeah.
because...
Yeah, how did you find us?
I don't know. I was looking for, people in advertising in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
And I just hit you up, and I didn't think he would reply because in Barry's profile picture, he's a very nice guy, but in his profile picture, he looks a bit intimidating.
Oh, really? Wow.
So
I need to keep that
or
picture.
like deep. So then, but then we exchanged messages, and he said, "Okay, you can come over at this time." It was one of the afternoons
Yeah.
that I popped over to their office. I didn't know what to expect, but I just left a thought saying that, look, guys, I think we can work together. I think it was in the first meeting
Correct. Yeah.
that I said it, that we should explore this. And then we kept discussing from 2021 up till 2022 end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we were just trying to see, can we do things, is there a match? I guess I had to show my face to them quite often to get them to feel the sense of trust, because I think in any business equation, trust is
Yeah.
Yeah.
Key.
important.
Yeah.
So I kept going, taking the opportunities to study that market a bit more, met a few more people, understood the contacts, understood how the market is shaping up. What I understood was three trends really, is that Amsterdam is becoming the capital of Europe, particularly after Brexit, so there's a good opportunity. I understood that there's a lot of fragmentation of the market, and talent is not easily available. And I understood that the opportunity to work cross-border is already sitting with these guys. So I said maybe there's something there. And then finally I think it was October, November of 22, if I'm not mistaken, we We shook hands.
We shook hands.
It was a verbal handshake, and then
Yeah.
we took the bike and went to have chocolate milk.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so that was how it came about. It was just a lot of, I guess.
Yeah, and I think we also we did one big project together, which for us was sort of confirmation. Okay, this could work.
Yeah, so we did the work on the IPL.
Yeah.
With so the IPL was moving from Hotstar to JioCinema.
Yeah.
And so JioCinema really needed to establish itself as the place where the IPL has to be watched, and it needed the right kind of graphics, and it needed the right kind of identity, and that's when we all worked together and built the Match Center Live.
Yeah.
The studio, the identity, the design, all the graphics for everything, how the score shows up, how it's a 4, how it's a 6,
Yeah.
how the scoreboard is shown, how each player profile is shown. So it was a
Design
lot of
emoji language.
a new emoji language,
Yeah.
yes, new sound.
Yeah, exactly.
Also I think that's where also it happened, because Schbang 808, our music team, worked with the Amsterdam music team
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
localize each sound for every state.
There
So
was
it's
like
a-
20 versions?
Yeah, I think so. We ended up-
Audio-wise?
yeah.
How many versions?
Like 20?
20 versions.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a lot of work,
Yeah.
and I think that
Localized,
gave
yeah.
confidence. And I guess then, you guys visited us and said, okay, they are not so bad.
The slippers are fine.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
We can roll with this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
No,
that's how it comes about, and I'm actually very, very happy with this. I'm so looking forward to it, and I think I've said it in all the press that we have done, that for us
Yeah.
it is. I feel like it's a great opportunity, privilege, comes from a place of respect for everything you guys have done.
The
do.
same for us, huh?
Yeah,
Same
as
for
well.
us.
Yeah.
And I think we bring complementary skill sets, because where you have depth, we have speed,
Yeah.
and we need more depth to our speed, and you need more speed to your
Exactly.
depth.
Yeah, it's
And we just have to now make it work, and that's what we are spending time now here
Yeah,
over the
yeah.
next few days, and trying to do.
Yeah, and I think also the sort of the offering is complementary, and it actually can enhance each other.
Yeah.
Like we need a lot of tech and talent,
Yeah.
and the design infusion.
raising the bar together. Huh?
Yeah, I think we're raising the bar together. That's a good
Absolutely.
point.
And I just also want to talk a bit about the UK in the midst of all this.
Oh yeah.
Because for us, that's how we are seeing it. Like we are, so we haven't really perfected this yet, but the way we are now seeing it, there's enough work starting to come in the UK,
Yeah.
Mhm.
enough work starting to come and to be built in Amsterdam,
Yeah.
to have a dedicated India team which looks after and supports both these markets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right now, the way we do it is we kind of in a decentralized manner, we just distribute it everywhere. But I see India team for the two markets slowly being shaped up.
Yeah.
Or we continue to decentralize some parts, and we identify the skills who can work on it, and that's really the plan as we are building this out. And then we have focus on new business. So yeah, just to tell the viewers a little bit that that's where our ambition is.
Yeah.
To
Well, actually, the addition of the London setup to our sort of setup, since we're already active in Netherlands and Europe and in India, often our most international pitches, we were always competing with UK agencies.
Yeah.
So that made us thinking that the UK market could actually maybe hold something for us.
Yeah.
There's also
And-
the cultural nuances that you already have good knowledge about. Does that play a role?
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's the cultural nuances or the awareness of the cultural nuances. I think that's
Yeah.
because we learn as we go, and there's new cultural nuances we run into every day. Yeah, I think that the attitudes of all three offices
Yeah.
match
And
very
already
well.
there's a few projects
Yeah.
going, and I think it's important also as we sign off little bit to talk about the UK setup. Of course we have Viren, who's homegrown from Schbang India,
Yeah.
looking after brand solutions at Schbang UK. And there's also Sarah, who's such an interesting creative, and I know that you guys get along very well. And
Yeah.
Sarah Coles is an interesting story, and it's again part of our mix coming together that we are so lucky with such interesting people working. Because she spent 10 years in India.
Yeah.
She understands how to do work in India and get work
Exactly.
from India.
Yeah.
But she's also born and brought up in the UK. And she gets along well with you guys. And I think you guys are doing a few projects now together.
Yeah, we're
Yeah. We're currently working together on a couple of Rabobank projects. Rabobank is one of the major Dutch banks. Yeah, and wherever, because we speak English, but we're not native English, so wherever proper English is required, we run it by Sarah anyway. So yeah, we're pitching together on a few things. We just won a project for a health food company, where Sarah is also joining in on the ideation phase. So yeah, super happy.
Ah, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Awesome. And how's the mood in Amsterdam with the team? And are they excited?
just super excited.
Yeah.
They're super excited.
Yeah.
They're just very much looking forward to meeting you all, of course. So we need to get some of you over to Amsterdam
And some of them
we
over
did
here.
over
Yeah,
here.
exactly. Yeah.
So that needs to happen, I guess, to for them also experience the culture within Schbang and within Schbang, addiktSchbang.
Nice.
So that needs to cross over. Yeah, no, they're super happy. Super happy. They're only talking about opportunities, and there's not a single.
Well, I think there's some anticipation about the unknown. How will this pan out? But I think in a good way.
Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
And I think everybody's sort of putting a little extra in on making this work. So yeah, super happy and super proud of the team of how they
Yeah.
sort of carry this.
Yeah. Yeah, because we dragged them into the unknown, huh?
Yeah. Awesome. I think that's a good end to what we have
Yeah.
in store.
Yeah.
Just very excited, and I want to say thanks to all the teams at both ends who've
Yeah.
been part of this
Yeah.
integration.
Oh,
I know that
there's a lot of hard work that's gone into this.
there's a lot of hard work that's
yeah.
gone in. So thank you to everybody who's been a part of it, and we are extremely excited, and looking forward to make this
very excited.
Let's make this work.
work. Yeah.
Let's go.
Awesome.
into the unknown.
Go team. As Tom, our producer, says every morning after every meeting. Go team.
Go team.
Yeah.
So that was our podcast. We're back after a long time, and if you liked what you heard, hit subscribe now.